lot of harmonics in that, and I don't like it. It's not hardly cutting at all. I'm going to have to do something with this tool or find another one. Let me see what I can do and I'll get back. Okay, so what we have here is, this is my cutoff tool. This is my cutoff tool. This is for the Monarch, and it's 1 inch. Well, the Hindi lathe, all of its tooling is 5/8. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting this down to 5/8 so that I can insert it into my Hindi lathe. Now the Monarch may not be running for another year for all I know, as busy as I've been. So my thought, I'm going to be using the Hindi until then. So I need to have this cutoff tool. You saw me trying to use the cutoff tool before and it was inefficient, it wasn't working right. All sorts of harmonics on the machine. And when I went and I tried to sharpen it and all that sort of thing, it didn't help one bit. So I decided I'm going to take this tool and modify it for the Hindi lathe. So I've already taken several passes. I've got one more pass that I have to take. Is 0.0625, which is a 16th. So what I'm going to do is add that to what my DRO is currently reading, 0.2255. I need 0.0625. And I'm going to give it a little bit more. I'm going to give it another thousandth, just so I know it'll fit in there. So I'm going to take it down to 0.289 on my DRO. And I may have to readjust your picture after I do that so that you can see it. I'm not sure if this will take it out of scope or not. Let's see, what was that dimension? 289. 2825 3545 55 60 65 70 75 88 85 89. And this will be my final cut, and then this tool will be ready to put into the lathe. I'll have to change the tip on it because this is an old tip on it, but once I change the tip, then we'll have a first-rate cutoff tool instead of the garbage that I've been trying to use and make work. So let's go ahead and we'll turn on the mill and we'll get going. Make sure my oil comes up. Okay, we got oil to the head. I've been using this as coolant. It's a mixture of some cutting oil and turpentine. It seems to do real well. Okay, let's go ahead and take our cut. I've had to find a carbide cutter because I first tried to use high-speed steel. And of course, this is hardened steel, so all I did is I dulled my high-speed steel. And carbides, I'm taking about a 1/16 of a cut in depth at a time, the full width, which is ½ inch. And so 1/16 depth and ½ inch width. It doesn't seem to have too much of a problem doing it. I've got my RPM set at 180. I'm hand feeding it. Trying to keep my feed consistent. chip. This head has 4 carbide inserts. It does a pretty good job. Well, that should have had me. Pull her back, we'll do another measurement, and then we'll take her over to the lathe and cut that part off. Slightly under 5/8, that's what I wanted. So we're good. Now that turpentine and oil seems to work real well. I'm going to take you back. So this is what I did. I've made a 5/8 deep by 1/2 inch bracket, and this will lower this to the proper depth for a cut. And all I have to do is replace my tip, and we'll be ready to cut. So I'll shut you off, bring you back over to the lathe. Okay, we've got it set up now. I haven't tried cutting yet, but that's what we're going to do next. Let's see how this works, this little plan I had. Okay, here we go. There we go. Whoops. Drop that puppy. Perfect. Doggone, I gotta watch what I'm doing here. Could have crashed that. Grabbed the wrong handle. Okay, now that 2-hour ordeal. Now we'll get back to making our next part, which I have to think about before we proceed. So let me switch gears here. I'll turn you back on once I figure it out. Okay, we're going to face this piece off. Then we're going to bore this out some more. We'll chamfer the edges and bore it out some more. So let's go ahead and do that. Pull out my tool and change it because it's not set up for chamfering. So let me grab a tool to chamfer. A nice flat surface there. What we're going to make next is the housing for the bearing material. So be making that next. So I'm going to want, yeah, this will do it. I don't have to change it either. I've got a broken tip on this, but I won't use the tip. I'll use the side of it so I can chamfer that corner real quick. Now I'll have to remember when I'm doing my cutoff to chamfer the other side. Okay. Okay, good. That looks good. Now we'll trade out and put in our boring bar, and we'll keep working on that. I'm going to check the inside dimension on this. Okay. So the ID. It's probably too small now. Yep. I have to get the next size up. Take this back some. Take a few more shots at it. It'd help if I turn it on. Of course, this isn't overly accurate, but yeah, I don't think we're going to go anymore. I'll just make sure that we make our brass to press into that. Okay, so the next thing that I have to do on this is I have to determine what my cutoff of this piece is. It's just a shielding for the brass, so when because it'll compact with the weight of that lift, and I want it to work kind of like a bearing. So even if it crushes, it'll still be housed within this, and that'll hopefully last for a couple of days until we can get a real bearing in here. Okay, so I got to find that dimension again. I might have to go measure it again because I'm getting rummy now. It's been a long day. So I've got it all written down here on the paper, and unfortunately I can't remember what my dimension was for that that bearing. Seems to me it was 0.6 something. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go measure that again because I didn't identify it. And I want to be certain that I've got the right depth here. So I'm going to go measure that one more time and I'll come back to you. Okay, I've come up with a determination that my dimension needs to be 0.618. Now the flange that I have here is 0.040. The flange on it, the thickness of that is 0.04. So I'm going to subtract that from 0.618. 040 gives me 8. 4 from 11 is 7. So that gives me a thickness of 0.578. So that's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for 0.578. Let me see what that is. Oops. About 13 millimeters. Okay. So that's what we're going for. So I'm going to glue up that part. I'm going to get a caliper and mark, make that dimension, open it up to that dimension, and then we'll score that, and then we'll cut that puppy off and start making our brass part. Probably if I'd used a marker pen, that'd probably been better than this. Ah. Well, you like that, huh? So I'll pass that line anyway. Let's see if we can find a marker somewhere. If you want one, you can't find it. Yeah. So much oil on this thing that it's not doing its thing. Let's see if I can score it. Okay, I got a line. Hopefully I'll be able to cut that on that line. Okay. come back in. We're going to do a double take on this. It turned out a little bit more than what this is really where we need it, right here. Just be a little bit lower. That a little bit below the center. Now, where are we here? Okay. Go. Let's make sure nothing hits anything. We're looking good there. Okay. Okay. Looks like we're set. We back this out, get her started. So nice to have a decent cutoff tool. Okay, there's our housing. Okay. Now, I'll turn you off while I put in the brass, and we'll get that all lined up and get it ready to go.